restaurant? That place isn't even worth mentioning.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
Ooh, you restaurant? Why that place isn't even worth mentioning.
Mistakes over and over again.
Exactly. But none of them is in the eye.
I'll treat your wounds.
Snappity snap, printy print. Whoa, those two are kind of. Hey, you two!
Huh? Does she mean us? Why does she want our picture? But if this is for anything besides your own personal use, then we're legally allowed to charge you. Wait, what would they call it here? An appearance fee?
Absolutely! It's just an honor to be able to photograph the Ace Adventurer duo. How does 1.5 million more sound?
Sure, that's it. Hold up, how much did you say again? 1.5 million? Did Paimon hear that right? That's a lot of more for just one photograph. Maybe a little too much. Are we really worth all that?
You guys are overreacting! If you're interested in working with me as a photographer, you can—
9 figures? That's... wait. Every 1,000 is 3 figures plus 1 for the what? Yeah, this all sounds too crazy even for Paimon. What kind of racket are you running here? You planning on flashing a couple of famous faces to con innocent people?
Con innocent people? You took the words right out of my mouth, but you got it back to front. My goal here is to rid Teyvat of everyone out there who's trying to con innocent people. Help me out, and they'll—
Whoa, back up a little. Seems you skipped a couple of steps. How did you get from photography to—
Well, it all has to do with an important problem in law enforcement. Common sense says that if Gardamex want to fight crime, the first thing they need to do is identify who's a criminal. But what happens when a Gardamex mistakes an honest citizen for a criminal? Or sees someone brandishing a weapon in public, but fails to flag them as a potential— Think of the poor—
Okay, fair enough.
Great. Okay, so let's say I disguise myself as a cat, or a dog, or a finch, or a pigeon, or maybe even a blubber beast, because why the heck not?
That's cheap! A Gardemeck's not gonna do anything to some cute little critter! Also, what kind of blubber beast would even want to come to the city anyway?
Bingo! Gardemecs are incapable of registering. It is actually fairly long. But here's completely blind to the would-be blubber beasts. The Gardemecs made no attempt to intervene in the thefts committed by the gang.
Wait, so this actually... Okay, that's pretty...
Exactly! And I, Lapine Pauline, currently, I'm in the... Any clockwork mecha installed with this module will instantly be able to recognize people wearing disguises and accurately assess the criminal threat they pose. And, if all goes to plan, the Palais Mermonia will jump at the chance to have these installed on every Gardemek in the city. It's the business opportunity of a lifetime!
Paimon's getting deja vu. Let me guess, you're a homebody researcher who prefers to stick to the city, limiting your potential sample size. And the reason you want to work with us is because we can go out into the wild and help you get all...
Wow! Right? What do you say? Crucially...
Forget tomorrow. We can't stand by and do nothing. There are criminals out there giving blubber beasts a bad name, and that's something Paimon wants...
Great! Okay, take this. It's an image recognition I've already looked through. Let's get this show on the...
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here? Not that there's anything wrong with this place, it's just,
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Okay, when did popping out of thin air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags. I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food, but now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too. Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity! It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too. Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre focilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoo!
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad! Yeah, exactly! What the Traveler said! Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you. Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help!
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude. So tell me, what... I see. After all, but given the present circumstances...
How come? It sounds like this would be a...
True, but I have made a decision to... Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent in centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick.
However, if I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary, so I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point, okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me. Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I drew a line in the sand without thinking about every possible grain on the other side.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh.
It's all right, Farina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed. Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest.
Too bad, but we have to respect Farina's decision. Maybe the thought of Performing brings up too many painful memories now. Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take—
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even—
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf.
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's helped— Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has—
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did—
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little. So, you see, our leading lady—
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then. Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a—
Jeez, is Lady Farina really so harsh with people?
Only joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to— So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance.
Yes, I'm completely I share every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home.
You're right.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on. Sure.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items. All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello, one...
Farina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned when you came to talk with me earlier. And all before... I'm sorry.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions. I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse... But in any case...
Yeah.
There's no need to think like that, and no need to keep it. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important, if the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but... Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the...
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And
What?
that's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Farina. They were what first inspired her to... She rallied... People loved our performances back then.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything. It's agonizing.
Oh.
What a terrible waste. A gift. I suppose it's fair to say, then, that this final show, besides being your farewell to this...
Yes, exactly.
Well, good thing I found... I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience, but only if you feel this is something that would...
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guide.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though.
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability. What about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them? An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all take, par exemple, how this troupe
So if you just want to get back...
No. This is a completely different situation.
The name's not so...
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Thank you all so much. Our director was... All right, follow me.
I'll think about it.
Yep, you're right.
Boring! Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Huh? Lady Farina?
What's Lady Farina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Farina on our behalf. You bet! That was the trial.
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying, the Little Ocean...
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an one of our greatest regrets.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to reel the protagonist of the story. She longed to live but one day, her true identity was exposed.
So far, so good. A classic tale.
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. We need a proper end.
We still haven't decided between a...
By true to life.
Yeah, but then the.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from 2 of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us, promising...
Although, now.
What opportunity?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying.
Our director was constantly singing your praises.
Oh, stop. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead. But one by one, all the obstacles are...
Makes sense. He went back to Poisson.
I thought the last thing his friend would...
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson? Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
All right. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward to your master.
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important. Even once he's done, it isn't.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Farina, too.
I was wondering if we might...
So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. Get over here, you!
How are things in Poisson now?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never
I'm sorry to hear that.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm...
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on, which... To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress, playing the role of her. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, now.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate prep. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the... I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, it's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But...
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if... Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydra Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had... I guess I wasn't quite ready for this.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
I can't let myself...
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have...
It's actually refreshing to see a difference.
Great. Well, I don't know whether, as I stand here, one after they thought their and all the while. But then the floodwaters
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only doing your duty.
I've had to eventually. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst case. Everyone rose, but
I would have never imagined you'd see
a reward? I guess so. And back then, I was scared. Believe in the Farina, you see. I had to keep all my feelings. That's what.
So that's what.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You. At least the. Alright.
Sure, okay.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down.
Come on. Anyway.
Are you kidding me right? I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up.
Oh no. We're back. Could you maybe put your
You're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Paulo's nearly done.
Great! So you're.
Me?
He was originally supposed to.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid.
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines, too. If you become human.
Wait, that sounds kind.
It's the most important line in the whole. She kept. It was only after.
You mentioned earlier that the.
Yeah, I spent some. It was like that. She took me on.
She sounds like a.
She really was. I was a lost. The other kids were all. One day. Yeah.
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need.
Farina? The Farina? Oh my god!
Please, the honor is all mine.
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown. I'm sure you're already She finds love and friendship in the The people start to note the little Oceanid. In the end...
Consciousness? You mean...
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a...
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, her lover accepts her. The little Oceanid is accused.
And then?
In the end...
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner.
There's actually something else. You know the protagonist is supposed... If we're What about if... The little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her. Her love...
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps...
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death. Both on the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside this. We waited and waited. We looked for her.
The director was the...
I've been trying...
Villemont?
Yeah.
Grief? Because...
What?
It's time to be up... She said that we were all like brothers and sisters. Not that it... I said, maybe one day... Well, and now... So if I'm...
We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go
Are you ready to face the...
Honestly, funny you should ask, though.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
As if this journey was—
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need... wait, why
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen furry—
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Frina...
Precisely! And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my powers, as much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a...
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
C'est la vie, indeed. Alas, I'm...
Aw, too bad. I was so—
Sorry to...
Don't worry,
The wind knows me.
the doctor will see you now.
Settle down.
Mind the side effect. Into the wind.
Silence.
The doctor will see you now.
One with nature. So many regrets. A bitter pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency. This is nothing. Wind strike. Mind the side effects.
Bow your head.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's the...
I can explain.
So, you think knowing the truth about... If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on...
Viamal, avoiding the truth will... Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Viamal. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never... But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice. The little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotion...
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation... So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods, the drink in question was synth.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away, but she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this The merchant was furious. I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my... But things only got... I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah, I got a...
Hey, don't...
You traitor! You knew. What do you mean? You were afraid. This was a life and death situation. How could you be so...
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him!
Stay calm. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show.
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you end my life. So I can meet the director and apologize.
Get out of my sight. Go!
That's enough! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relation? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your...
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own mind, what she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your...
Yeah.
So think hard. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your difference, but you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? What are you laughing at?
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. If she'd seen Paulo and Villemont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly...
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even...
It's all right.
So, the end...
Clearly, everyone needs to take... The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items. If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense.
You really think that's...
I trust that...
No.
Well...
Come.
You want to review some recovered items Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on.
So, this is all Aurelie left behind.
Hey! It's full of script lines!
Let me take a look. Maybe there's some... looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiment. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vachey's guilt.
Vachey took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims...
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down in the hope... wait, it cuts off. Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
He was so terrified.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days. Wait. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and
Isn't that the most important line in the little...
Because I am an older sister.
Oh!
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as she had their utmost trust. Let's go.
She deserves a hero's farewell.
Even in the last moment.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible. We know what choice our little Oceanid would have... Well, Vilmont, if we put the...
I will channel all my regret. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't...
Really? How can you be so sure when you...
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching, if you want to move the audience and aren't human, I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage.
Thank you for the vote.
Then, let's not...
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a... During the curtain call, please allow me to use...
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. Besides, a role commemorating her life.
Well, if you're sure you're okay...
Now, all right. I'll leave you to fine-tune...
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place...
That place?
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the...
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that O'Reilly's story is unworthy?
No,
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette. I know just where to find...
No way! I'm not guessing.
Fresh fruit, sweeter than syrup.